Hello, hello. Sorry I'm late. I got caught up watching Over the Garden Wall reanimated clips, and I regret nothing. I literally regret absolutely nothing. Okay, now I need to go image, duplicate. 42. Hi, Jace. Isn't it exciting that you get to sit with me during this stream while I don't do the work I'm supposed to do? Okay, let's see. I gotta go figure out what the fuck I'm doing for this page. Let's find out what's going on this page. I'm trying to figure out if it's okay for me to, or like how I'm going to get to this part. There's going to be a part that has some very sensitive material coming up here, and I'm trying to figure out how to draw it into panels without it being so graphic or offensive that people are going to be like, why did you do this? And so it's going to be kind of an interesting challenge here, and I don't know how that's going to go. We're going to find out. Oh yeah, I forgot that they got abandoned outside. Okay. Sure. Sure. I'm just gonna do bushes. I'm not even gonna draw. I don't know. Maybe I will. Like, I recognize that this is a really skinny panel. Sure. Boop. Sure. And then let me... Kind of curious. I'm going to play around with. Oh, hold on. Let me see what I want to do here. Oh, sure. Kind of interesting. Okay. Hi, James. Oh, I need your opinion on something. Okay, sounds good. Yes, yes, the Danny Phantom OCs. Yes. I need to watch more Danny Phantom, clearly. This is all that I'm learning. I like this. That's kind of cool. But let me actually maybe this. Actually, maybe this. Kind of cool. I don't know, I'm going rogue. I'm using a bunch of weird panel shapes, and I don't know what I'm doing. Sure, why not? Okay, is it silly that I decided to drop it temporarily because of the point that or at which I'm at with it? Oh, yeah, no, sometimes that can be sad. I don't think that that's that crazy at all. Sometimes I think, like, they call that in writing, they call that, like, sometimes they call it killing your darlings or things like that, where it's like, I really liked this project, but I don't know if it's going to go in the direction that I want it to, or the scene doesn't work out the way that I want it to, or any of those things. People do that in, in professional writing all the time. So I don't think it's that crazy, but I also think too that if you really want to stick with it, there you can create a lot of opportunity to rework it in a way that is still authentic to kind of what you were looking for and what you wanted without it ending in a way that makes you as the writer, as the creative, like sad, if that makes sense. Also, hey Mark, how's it going? Welcome in. Actually, you know what though? What if I took, instead of that, and it was panel 3 instead? Phew, excuse me. Actually, I think I'm deciding I want the bushes in there. I'm gonna kind of use all of these set pieces that I've already made. There's no reason for me to suffer. And I'm just gonna put a speech bubble right there. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let me blow my nose because I'm dying. Yeah, it's really hard. This is kind of the reason why, I guess, as an author, for me, like, I don't really do character deaths in my work because unless they serve like a really important purpose or unless they're really evil people, I tend to not kill protagonists or the people that the protagonists care about, because to me there's already so much bad shit in life. I don't need to carry that into my fiction, if that makes sense. So you can definitely make those kinds of choices. All right, where's Sean? Okay, let me get a camera in here. Let me see here. Gotta try and move this pose because this is rough. What is even going on? She gets to have like a daisy or something. I don't know if I want... this. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, like the minute the thought hit me, it got me crying. Oh, that's rough when that happens. Yeah, that's intense. It can be pretty intense. Yeah, it's really up to like, it is ultimately up to you as a creative. It's like if it feels natural, then that may be what's right, but it kind of depends on why you're writing. You know what I mean? Some people write to they write because they are creating something that they want to use commercially. And for a commercial writer like myself, the main goal of commercial writing is to get people to feel something. And even if that feeling is an uncomfortable feeling or a negative feeling, that feeling is just it's valid. It's I've done my job as an author if I made you feel something, right? But it also depends on, like, if you're not a commercial writer, you are doing this, you have to like ask yourself, it's like, okay, well, why am I writing, right? Like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And if the answer for why you're doing what you're doing is because it's fun and it's something that you enjoy, um then the important question to ask yourself is this right for the project? If I want to have fun and if it's something that I am excited about, does making this decision for my writing kind of ruin this for me? And you can obviously make the choice to go any other direction that you want, right? All right, hold on. I gotta figure out what I'm doing here, actually. There we go. Is that a hydrate? Joke's on you, Cal. I'm drinking milk. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. Oh, guess what? I don't actually have to censor this one. Yeah, and then ultimately, too, you have to, I guess that the next thing to ask is, like, to ask yourself, like, what the message is of your work. Because, like, for certain things, for certain projects, each project has a different message, if that makes sense. So for my Brady Von Altus books, the message is you are never alone, right? Like, your acceptance is you are accepted and loved. And that's like a huge part of my work. And so if I kill a bunch of characters, for example, or have really bad things happen to them, then that kind of goes against that overall feeling that I want from that work, which is, you are loved. And so you have to ask yourself, does this go against the message of my work, or does this, what did I want to get out of this for myself, if that makes sense? Also, everybody should stretch, sit up nice and straight, don't be shrimping, and also give yourself a good ooh, ooh. I don't know what that looks like, but give yourself that. Okay, now I have to censor this one. How you doing, Cal? How are you? How you do? There is a but. Work was weird. Oh, 4 pallet. That is weird. That is weird. Oh, you know what's funny is I'm just now realizing that all of these, all of these, boxes on this page are purple. It's not what I wanted. I'm gonna have to fix that. That's silly. I was using a really dark purple yesterday, and that is not at all what I wanted. Silly Billy. Okay, let's go fix that. It is almost black, but it is not black. They started before we even showed up. I did a produce order and then left before the grocery order got started. Yeah, you're like, I'm going home. You're like, I don't got time for this. I don't got time for your tomfoolery. What a weird time. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna grab this one again. I actually have to do this. Okay, where's my bush? Bush. It's like weirdly humid in here, and so it smells all funky. I don't know if I like it. Like, am I crazy? It smells like weird wet paint melting. It's got that funk. And not the good funk, the bad funk. Goes. I hear them crying. Actually, I need these grass pieces to be in the front. Okay, I gotta censor this bad boy. Let's fucking do that so that way it's not gross looking. I like how Wukong is just like laying in a bush. He's like, I've given up. I refuse to think about any of this going on here. I don't care. Okay, now I need to make sure that these folks are not in dumb positions because it's not what I want. They're just in the bush, and that's just the way that it goes. Yeah. Okay. And then this last one. I'm gonna just zoom in. Wow. Okay, on the plus side, the actual, like, mock-ups, the actual blocking was really easy. I'm gonna do a larger panel of her here, a breakaway, or a cut, yeah, breakaway panel, because otherwise that's gonna be gross looking. Okay. I just want to go watch Over the Garden Wall for 8 hours in a row and not think about anything else. Oh, and then I can fix in a second the, whoops. Actual background here. I know what I'm doing. You're like, look, I literally can't hold your hands anymore. Figure your shit out. But also, too, didn't you say that most of the other, like, classmates that you have, like, can only really get together and do their work on, like, Friday because they all work during the week, so it's like they couldn't help you right now, even if, or like they couldn't do any work right now, even if you like needed them to. It would be like a situation of like you'd be kind of screwed. Oh, I don't know why I can't draw. I like this little moment that they share with each other in this bush, though. That makes it sound super sexual. It is not. They are just in a bush. Actually, you know what? I'm realizing I don't want to close her eyes fully, actually, looking at this panel. Never mind. There we go. Much better. I've been checking in homework stuff, yeah, way more frequently. So, like, they could clock in. Yeah, right? No, for real. It's like, you got 5 seconds. You could, yeah. No, look, we don't talk about it. This is why I don't really like working for anybody else or doing anything for anybody else. Because if I do, then I end up in a place where I'm like, I want to slowly smother all of you in your sleep. Because, like, my question is it's like, why are you doing school if you can't, like, commit? I don't know. And that's, like, I get it. Everybody's, so, like, some people are super, super, super busy. I understand. And everybody hates group projects. Like, I also get that, too. But, like, goddamn. It's like, please, for all things good in this world. Yeah, right? It's like, I have a good grade, so, like, if y'all fuck this up for me, I'm gonna be real angry. I'm gonna be angy-pangy. I'm gonna come to your house, I'm gonna poop in your shoes. Yeah, like, I like the way that REMCAD does online collaborative projects, because, like, there's, like, one assignment for the world building class, for example, that, like, every single week the students are adding on to a world building document that they're all sharing with each other. But the way that it works is, as long as you contribute to the discussion post, whoever's post gets the most votes by the end of the week, that's what gets added in. So as long as it's just a discussion post, as long as you literally post something to the discussion post, you're fucking good, and you don't have to, like, worry about it. And so it's not like you're trying to wrangle other students and force them to post, because if they don't post, that's on them, and then they don't get a good grade. But it doesn't impact your grade at all if they don't post. You know, so it's like, I wish that more projects were like that, where, like, that makes more sense for an online environment. You know, sometimes you do shit. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. Don't you just love violent sounding shamisen? Hi, Tess. How you doing? How are you today? This girl looks so tired. She's like, please help me. You threw me into a bush. Wukong's like, I didn't throw you into a bush. We jumped into a bush. There is a difference. I really need to get writing done too. I'm like 2 days behind again. It's because I wanted to play Pokemon yesterday. I'm a fool. It was me. I was the fool all along. I feel like the dad from the Potatoes and Molasses episode. I'm like, this is what I'm paying for in this establishment, except it's me yelling at myself. There's also a reflection questionnaire to that, or that we get to each submit separately, and supposedly we're graded more heavily on the portion we're responsible for, but I don't want their lack of writing skills or lack of initiative to implement edits or suggestions to impact the final grade. Yeah, right. It's like legit. Y'all have one job, and then they don't realize too. It's like, I'm sure that they think it's like, I'm gonna go be a therapist and I'm gonna just work for myself and do all of this shit. It's like, that's not how being a therapist works. You have to like do a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of organization. You have notes that you have to take after every single session. There's a lot of prep work before each session. You have a psychiatrist that you're likely going to be reporting to that's going to be your boss. Like, there is no, like, unless you're running private practice by yourself, there is no, just, like, doing it by yourself, you know? It's like, that's not how that works. I don't remember what a dandelion looks like, but I'm just kind of winging it. Welcome back from Adtown. That's probably what a dandelion looks like. Yeah, that seems normal. That seems fine. I don't know. Looks like a dandelion to me. Yeah, it's like, this is... I'm not gonna think about it. Okay, let's see. There's her... This is fine. Oh, Gen Psych. Or are taking this, like, as an elective. Yeah, that fucking sucks. It's like, you don't even go here. Yeah. Oh yeah, because I forgot that this is your, like, it's like a gender class, isn't it? Or is this like, what? Yeah, I don't remember which class this is. Oh, history of psych. Okay, okay. Yeah, so ultimately you're trapped. You're trapped with the plebeians. I'm sorry. I feel like it doesn't get any better until you get above, like, level 200 classes too. Like, you just have to kind of suffer until you're in 300 or above, and then it gets better. Pain! Tess, I'm so behind on writing. We don't talk about it. I was like joking about it, but I'm like 2 days behind. I have to write 7,500 words today. So that's what I get to do. We don't talk about it. Shh. Shh. We're fine. Everybody's fine. We're all fine. Oh my god, Blue! They're in there! Blue is great. Blue the best. So is the plan to just, like, read a book a month? Is that gonna be the... Is that the strat here? Look at this arm. What if she was, like, looking at this flower and then she just crushed it? What if she just ate it? What if, like, Sid the Sloth, she just, like, ate it? She was just like, wham. That's where this comic takes a very weird turn. Turns out Sean was Sid the Sloth the whole time. I'm actually gonna finish this before I move on to somewhere else. I do, you're right. I could do this. I'm sure she's a fan of dandelion greens. I would not be surprised. She seems like she eats pretty well. Well, what is the dandelion greens in Chinese? Hold on, let me find that out. It's like Kaltoi, maybe? Oh, Pu Guangying. Yeah, so you can eat. Yeah, you can eat dandelion greens. I'm sure. Yeah, people probably eat it with hot pot all the time. I would not be surprised if she has consumed at one point. Oh, you can stir fry the shit out of them too. What am I thinking of? What is khao soy? Khao soy. No, I'm just on crack. Never. Oh, khao toll. Khao toll. That's what I'm thinking of. Not. I was combining tot soy and khao toll. Khao toll is like clover. That's a different green altogether. I crave the dandelion. See, I fucking hate arugula. I can't do the arugula. I respect its bitterness, but also I got the fear. I can't do it. Occasionally I will enjoy it in a salad, but like for the most part I just go, "Oh," and then I'm in pain. It's too punchy for me. Dandelion greens are a little bit less offensive to me, though. I do like those bad boys every once in a while. It has a little bit of a peppery taste to it, I feel like, the dandelion greens. I like that. That's legit. I respect it. Yeah, literally, iceberg lettuce. We don't talk about it. I had some actually. You know what? I shouldn't be too upset with it. I had some iceberg lettuce when we were at the melting pot the other day, and effectively the only thing that saved it was this very good mustard vinaigrette that they had. But ultimately, it's like the fact that you have to drown the leaf in some other kind of like sauce in order for it to taste acceptable kind of defeats the purpose of the food. It's like, why would I consume this? You know, it's like there's just no nutritional value really. It's just other than I guess you're getting hydrated. I don't know. My favorite lettuce is butter lettuce. Yeah, it was really extra. We went because they were celebrating their 50th anniversary, and they had a bunch of stuff covered in edible 24-karat gold, and it was really obnoxious. It was literally the most extra shit I've ever put in my mouth at any given point in time. They had, like, gold-dusted scallions and stuff that they threw into the cheese, which was very good, actually. The cheese was good. It was like a 50-year aged, like, Gruyere cheese. It was pretty tasty. All right, it's time to feed the Snorlax, and if you have not eaten a snack today, or if you ate breakfast a while ago and you need a snack, you definitely should get a snack, because the Snorlax craves. The Snorlax waits for no one. But please eat food. Y'all deserve good things. But I do enjoy the melting pot. I will dip some cheese into a pot for my own amusement. Pretty enjoyable. I will burn myself on molten cheese even though the waiter just told me to not do that. He also gave me a really good recommendation on wine while we were there. He said he was training to be a sommelier, which is really fucking cool. But he did a very good job. I like it when a person who works at a restaurant that serves liquor is actually knowledgeable in liquor. Not like that one time we went to that bourbon place and that guy had no fucking clue what he was talking about, even though the place is a bourbon bar. I'm alright. I'm still bitter about it. I don't know. Hey, was it Bluegrass? No, it was down in Colorado Springs. I think it was called Bourbon Brothers, actually. Like, legitimately, bourbon was in the title. And I was like, hey, so what is a good, like, introductory sipping bourbon for somebody who wants to try bourbon, but has not had a lot of exposure to bourbon? And first he fucking misgendered me. Then he told me that it was I probably wouldn't like it because if I'm a girl, I'm not gonna like hard liquor. And then the third thing that he said was that I don't know bourbon very well. I was like, bro, you fucking triple threaded yourself. Also, there's that bot again at exactly 12:32. I'm pretty sure they're in here on Clockwork. I want to know why. That's a trend. I am. And their barbecue wasn't even that good. I'm sure Bluegrass is wonderful. I'll have to go check them out because I'm always looking to try new things. And if the answer is going to somebody who actually fucking knows what they're talking about. Colorado Springs is just a fucking tar pit of a place. It's like where all good things go to die. You know, like... There's nothing... Oh, that's dope. Yeah, I'd love to come and hang out. I will drink a bunch of bourbon and write a thing. That would make me feel extra classy. I'd have to, like, switch gears and write, like, a mystery or something, because that's, like, effectively, like, Sherlock Holmes mode activate. That's how that works. Yeah, it depends on the time. Unfortunately, I do work on Sundays. Sundays are my Mondays. But if it's at a good time, maybe I'll come. Maybe I'll show up. I'll be like a little weird ghosty. And I'll show up and I'll just make everybody super uncomfortable. No, I'm just kidding. Start throwing stuff around the bar. Like a certain ghost we know. Oh yeah, unfortunately I wouldn't be able to... Well, maybe some days I can make it. It really would depend on how busy my week is. Yeah, I don't know if I would be able to make that, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere. What do you mean you don't want to just guzzle hard liquor as soon as the sun comes up like a real American? I was born and raised in this country. That shit'll put hair on your chest. My meemaw said that it'll make you a real man. Who needs hormone replacement therapy when you can drink bourbon at 10? And then I'm gonna go right after that and wrestle a bear. Punch a bald eagle in the throat. Okay, let me get the, You're like, actually, I don't know. That's funny, though. No, this is fine. Wee. Potatoes and molasses. If you want some, oh, just ask us. I kind of want to make potatoes and molasses and see if it's like any good. I need to know, you know? I have like a lot of questions. I have not had like too much exposure to molasses. Oh, this is where this is gonna get rough. Ooh, I borked myself. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. Geometry. Oh, dear. Oh, man. Okay, hold on. Oh, everybody photographs these damn monkeys from the front. Okay. Oh, this is going to be the worst. Okay, so let's pretend here. Oh, I made a grave mistake. Okay, maybe that's fine. Let me see here. Boy. Oh, fuck this perspective. Why did I do this to myself? I have many regrets. No, wrong way. Oh my god. Oh. Sorry, I'm like slowly dying. Okay, is this fine? I don't fucking know. I don't know! This is why we use this for reference images, because it would have taken me a billion years to try and figure that one out. Fuck. Wowie. Lord and butter. And even then... Okay. Oh my god. Damn foreshortening! Just start screaming. Oh my god. Okay, but I think I got it. Wow, that was rough. Hopefully people won't look at this for too long, you know? They'll just kind of scroll past this. They just won't process whatever the fuck is going on here. Hold on. Also this too. Oh, man. Not quite. Hold on. Sure. Holy moly. Look like a monkey man to me? Yeah, oh my god, we're not gonna talk about it. It's definitely not my proudest angle, but also it could have been... This could have been much worse. Could have been worse. Well, and the problem is, too, is we have, like, the reality that this hair actually kind of goes over top of the band as well, so it doesn't necessarily, like, it, like, well, this probably, too. I'm thinking too hard about this, I think. This is where having a 3D model of this actual person would do a really, like, or with this specific facial anatomy would do a really solid service to me. Because that way it won't be messed up. And, like, you know, is this going to be perfect? Probably not, but, you know. At least I can get relatively close. And, like, certain things from the top are not really a problem. Like, this bun is fine. That's fine. I might make it a little larger. But other things, like the slope of the muzzle and things like that, it's like, that's rough. This is why you don't see, like, a lot of furries, I imagine, drawing their characters from weird angles like this either, because it's, like, without, like, an actual primate in front of you to be able to, like, study. Because all photographs of these animals are from, like, the front. Every wildlife photographer is like, yeah, I love monkeys, and then they just take it from one angle, and it's like, why would you do that? They're like, I like monkeys, but only from this side. It's like, I gotta capture their good angle. It's like, what the... What? Take pictures of monkeys from above you, cowards. They're like, we can't because they're in the trees above us and they'll poop on us. And it's like, I don't care. Sacrifice is something you must do for your city. Quote unquote Baron Praxis. He taught us that. Do I hear a 6-7? Hi, Gabby, how you doing? I'm too old for that. I'm one of the boomers ruining 6-7. You gotta watch out. You can't trust me with that sacred knowledge. I will ruin somebody's life, probably. Okay. Alright. Okay. Yeah, this could have been much worse, but we're okay. But this is where this gets, Yeah, legit, this was a nightmare. This was awful, Gammy. It was so bad. We're doing okay, though. Thankfully, this is not going to be on, like, it's like one panel, so we're all right. I'm doing okay. This was a little tricky, but of all the things that I've ever drawn, and actually this is kind of messed up as well. This foreshortening is not super accurate. Of all the things that I've drawn, that's probably one of the worst. It's like that and horses. Those are the two things. But otherwise I'm doing okay. Let's see. Oh my god. Trying to get this fabric to do what I need it to do. But I'm very excited for this page. Oh, I should probably chill out here for a second. I'm excited for this page because it gives Wukong some good character development, I think. Or rather, it allows Sean to understand what he's doing, because I think she has assumed up to this point that he's like just fucking doing shit randomly because he can. That is not the case. I'd like to add to my commission a horse top down on a motorcycle with human hands and feet. Like, honestly, you want to know what else is actually the worst from the top? Speaking of that, because that already is, like, at least, you know what I can find images of? Guaranteed, a horse from the top. Guaranteed I'd be able to find a horse from the top. So I'm not as afraid of that. Not as afraid. Motorcycles, too. That wouldn't be the worst. But the thing that looks super weird from the top are swords. You have to do those for, like, orthographic illustrations for prop design, for, like, concept art and stuff. And it's like, when you draw a sword from the top, like, where you're looking down the blade at the hilt, it just becomes a bunch of stupid-looking rectangles, and it's, like, it's not very attractive. It's like, why did I spend all my time drawing this? Like, why did I do this? See, technically, though, that sword would be from the side. I mean, I guess it depends on how a horse is holding the sword. All we're learning is that this horse is maybe not road safe. That's all we're learning here. Yeah, now that's the question. How many people have top-down drawings of aerial photographs of a giraffe? Because I know people take drone photographs of giraffes, but they always, again, they take them kind of from, like, upper front, sort of. And this is why medieval illustrations ended up the way that they did. Yeah, thankfully, at least horses are kind of predictable in that way. I'm sure people who draw horses professionally for a living would argue the same thing, where it's like they are predictable. You just have to understand their anatomy. That's why there are people who are professional horse artists. Like, people literally specialize in horse portraiture. I am not that guy. That shit is always super impressive to me, but it's not a skill that I possess. It's interesting to hear how Gaga's voice has changed. Not only because she's gotten older, but because they stopped telling her to sing up in her nose like Britney Spears. She doesn't do that anymore. Kong's like, I'm getting paid to do nap time professionally now. Good night. How did this thumb end up in this weird place? I don't... Like, his thumb goes like that. That's weird. Like, I'll do some of that. Oh, why? With all the stuff blowing around outside, I'm kind of dying, actually. Okay. Okay. Mr. Man. Here comes Mr. Man. He's coming. He demands his din-din. And by din-din, I mean second lunch. Okay, you know what? Alright. Okay, we're alright. We're alright. A horse with human hands and feet reminded me of the current arc that I'm in for the horror campaign that Legends of Evantris is doing, where a hag did some body horror stuff to a squadron of guards to transfigure them into horses, but my brain just goes to low-res models of monsters from, like, Resident Evil. You're just like, boop! Now, if we want to talk about one of the most horrific scenes of that, nice callback to Circe from Greek mythology, but Willow, the practical effects transformation scene of when Madmorda turns all of the soldiers into pigs. It's fucking horrifying, actually. So scary. Literally scarred my small child brain. It's brilliant from a practical effects standpoint. What in the heck is going on right here? Mr. Man, you can't just touch everybody's chairs and claw the sides of them. I've had to learn to just, like, effectively, I'm not allowed to have nice things like leather chairs because you claw them. That's all that I've learned. Fat Alice is worse, but you do the same thing. He's just a little man that claws a chair. Okay, and then pretty much everything is foreshortened so we don't see it. Good night, Sun Wukong. Okay, now we got perspective. That said meth not even once. What? Oh my god. Okay, but if we're being real though, are they wrong? Are they wrong? I've been around, unfortunately, too many meth heads for my liking, and I'm not saying that that is inaccurate. Colorado Springs is a fun place, guys. There was this one time that we had an assignment, or it was like, I shouldn't say an assignment, it was a Halloween party that we were doing for my theater troupe, and the goal was to dress up as a homeless person, which, looking back on it in hindsight, not very cool, or culturally sensitive, or just you know, not great. But the theme was bumming it. That was our theme, was to be a bum. That was the goal. And I ended up teasing the shit out of my hair and putting a bunch of, like, makeup meth sores all over my face. And we were in King Supers, and there was this lady that was there with her kid, and I was there with my dad. And so for context, my poor dad, he gets like accused of doing hard drugs all the time because he's just a very thin individual. He does not do hard drugs at all, but he weighs literally like $1.25 and is very tall. So you get this skeleton-like figure with very thin curly hair and a bald spot and long hair, who looks like he has potentially, I don't know, spent many a weathered year in the sun. And then you have me next to him, with my hair teased and ratted to all fucking, all my clothes are shredded up, and I have all these pockmarks all over my face, and we're getting donuts out of the donut case, and there's this lady next to us with her fucking, like, maybe like 11 or 12-year-old kid, and the lady looked at her kid dead ass in the eye, and as loud as humanly possible was like, "See, this is why you don't do meth," and then shuffled her child off, and I was like, you know what, did I win? Did I win? And I will never fucking forget that day that I used the power of theater to convince somebody that I do meth. And there's not really a moral to that story. I don't know if there is. It's just, that's it. My dad was like, does she think I do meth? And I was like, I don't know. Like, legit, I don't know. I was like, I'm sorry. This is unfortunate for you. Colorado Springs is a weird place. I wouldn't recommend moving there, y'all. If you can avoid it, don't do it. Colorado Springs is the most Kansas-y place in Colorado. Not the scariest place in Colorado, but the most Kansas-y place in Colorado. And if y'all have ever been to Kansas, you know what I mean. Okay, sir. Oh my god. Nope, don't like that. Hold on. It's because it's in the wrong spot, because I'm a big old dummy. Okay, hold on. Did you like my practice line there that I did, where I just drew in the air? Alright, I'm okay. I want him to bitch slap somebody with his tail at some point. That would be really funny. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen, but I do think that would be funny. That meth not even once image is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life, Jace. I hope that you know. I'm gonna be thinking about that thing for the rest of forever, and this is all your fault. So thank you for that. And now I'm just scarred for life. I hope you're happy. Oh, why is this? What the fuck? Why? They're better. Who am I? Hold on, I realize I forgot to do this over here first and foremost. Secondly, the outline was the wrong color. Jace, I really want the Brazilian food now. If Flavia says it's good, then it must be good. I would trust her with my life. This also was purple. I've been deceived. I've been deceived. Can't believe you guys watch me do this like literally every week. Y'all come in here and just watch me suffer. I realize I'm just hungry for Asian food. That's all that I care about. Oh, nice. Okay, that could have been significantly worse. Sure. Let's see. I did that color. And then now I get to do grass back there, I guess. And I can't forget to let's see. Color in. Turn off this. We gotta do this. No, this. So here we're gonna delete this. We're gonna delete that. Behind this, we're gonna do grass. I love this grass, by the way. This is like my favorite grass. I'm gonna do another layer back here. And then we're gonna do one that's in the very back. I'm gonna have to do some variants of this too. Continue. Grass. And crayon. There we go. Cool. What is the dialogue in this? These monkey images didn't help me. Hey Jace, I don't know if you have a free moment, if you'd be able to like, help me reorganize my boxes or my like lovely cart for the con. Okay, what am I doing with my life? Okay. Dialogue is... I'm thinking about the convention and dying. Okay. Yeah, mostly I just need to figure out what is actually in the damn box. Make sure nothing is getting crushed in there, because Christopher was the last one to pack it up, and I don't... It's not that I don't trust him, but I'm sure... Like, there are some... Book covers are stupid, and Amazon's quality is not necessarily the best ever. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Jace. I appreciate you. Now she gets to look down at him like, bro, what are you doing? For once, she's not looking at him like she wants to beat him up. They are truly unique. This is a rare moment. Oh yeah, that like nameplate thing can just go in the trash actually. But the other thing I want to buy, because that shit's cool, yeah. That thing's neat. God, I have never had a more intense desire for a spring roll, like a fried spring roll, in my whole life. I'm feeling enraged, almost. A rage against the machine, you could say. Is this because of the government? Y'all remember Brittany? I remember Brittany. I hope she's doing okay. Like, watching an adult woman crash out was, like, really hard when I was a child. She, like, genuinely did not deserve anything that happened to her. Cool. And then effectively, the secret there, Jace, is that I'll just need 5 copies of each thing. But, like, I try to intersperse, like, hardcovers and softcover and paperbacks for the ones that have it, you know what I'm saying? And then if you want to just stack them next to the thing, then we can go from there. And then later, I just got to print out all of the catalog stuff for putting it into the actual binder. And maybe more people will buy more prints and stuff. That actually kind of happened last time, which was crazy. Definitely did not expect that. Mama D was nice. Mama D bought my art. And then she gave me a hug, and that was very kind. I don't know why I feel like... Yeah. Stylistically, I've done some silly shit. I don't... This rock is pissing me off. Trying to think of anything else I need for this convention. Oh, I need to print out the stupid tax form because clearly they don't trust anybody to fill out their taxes. I don't expect that I will probably need the Brady box or like the Brady whole series set probably because I don't have any more boxes. But I was like, maybe if I just bring them and I like wrap them in a ribbon or something, people will be like, "That's a cool gift set." Do you feel like that's worth it?
Could be. We would just need to get some nice ribbon.
Yeah, nice ribbon. I don't know. Hi Riddle, how you doing? How are you? Oh, I gotta draw this dandelion again. Plot twist. I had to draw the dandelion twice. I had to draw a dandelion both times. Boop. My favorite is that these guys are hiding in the bushes. This is funny. It's like, name the funniest things your characters have done in the last couple of panels. Hide in a bush. It's okay. Get both sides. Now that's how I'm getting paid. Double T on stage. Okay. I want kind of a nice, like, curve, like she turned her head. God, I feel so bad. Every time I listen to this song, I think about how this poor girl has to now sing a song not in her range because she wrote this song to record once and now she has to suffer. Help her. Bless. Other than family drama, everything is actually going nice for once. You know what? That's great to hear. Legit. That's awesome. We love it when shit's not on fire, sort of, you know? I had a friend ask me yesterday, like, how you doing? And I was like, not really that great, but, like, I feel like I've not been doing that great for the last, like, 10 years. So at least shit's consistent? I'm like, I don't know. It's our mom, and you know together we're going. Gonna be golden. Oh. Yep, I feel bad for her. I feel bad for EJ. I'm like, girl, are your vocal cords okay? Just the drama. Oh yeah, and then also too, these two Jays need to go. Because one of them's for Cat, and then one of them is just for show to be like, wow! It's coming out at the end of the month. Oh, actually, I might have copies by the end of, or like, I don't know. I'll just be able to tell people. If I have copies, I have them. If I don't, I don't. But I'm gonna try and buy a couple of new Heaven's Equals. And if they get there by the time that I need to go to the con, then sweet! Or, well, wait, no, we're going on the 14th. Why did I feel like this con is at the end of the month? I'm full of dumbs. You only have one full set of Brady left, which is probably worth bringing anyways. 4 total hardcover Brady ones left. Okay, yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, that's fine. Well, with the Brady, so when we're bringing Brady, like, 1, for example, bring, like, oh my god, Mr. Man, bring, like, 3 paperbacks and, like, 2 hardcovers. You know what I'm saying? So then that way it's 5 total of just that title, so that way I'm not bringing, like, a bunch of stuff. And if I have to replenish, then I can replenish later. But that just means that's good to know. I have to do like a restock order again here soon. I'm hoping that this convention is not going to be a total dud. I am worried about it. Not saying I want it to go really well, but I would be very happy if it did. Because the last one, and I don't want to say that the last one didn't go well, but it wasn't like the most exceptional convention. I feel like that's all the conventions in Colorado. Maybe we just live in the wrong area, and like we'll move to like Vancouver, and all of a sudden 1 million people will show up to the conventions, and I'll actually make sales. You know what I mean? It could be just that like people in Colorado just don't do that. I don't know, man. Yeah, the last one for me was Mile High Con. Apparently there was a lot of advertising issues, and effectively nobody knew that the con was going on. So the same like 12 people that show up to Mile High Con and to Cosine were all there. And that was pretty much it, which is not ideal. Going to conventions as a guest, as like you're going to hang out, super fun. Selling at a convention, most of the time, very stressful. But I don't know, maybe Colorado is just not, yeah, like not a good convention area. But I don't know. Is it usually on Halloween? I don't think so. I think that it just ended up like that this time. But I don't know if it would have made much of a difference if it wasn't, to be honest. Because, like, if they're not putting out Facebook ads and stuff, like, that was, like, apparently what happened, is that they were supposed to schedule, like, Facebook ads and stuff, and they just never were scheduled. So they were sitting in the queue up until, like, 2 days before the event, and then they went out. You know, so effectively, nobody knew it was happening until, like, yeah, 2 days before. But that ain't great. That's not good. Don't do that. You know, always do this. But yeah, conventions rock. Most of the time they're good. The trick is trying to figure out how to make enough money to actually do what you need to do. The thing that I've been having trouble with is because I've been putting so much money into trying to leave the country, I haven't really had the ability to invest back into my business. So I need to buy, like, book boxes for the Brady box sets. I need to buy more book stock, like, all of those things. And with, like, my Kickstarters, it's kind of one of those things where the base goal is always to just fund the project just all together, and anything else after that is stretch goals, and those stretch goals can be things like I need to, you know, pay for book stock, or I need to pay myself, or I need to pay to buy, like, replenish my store, or buy new books or book boxes, like those kinds of things. And unfortunately, the reality is that the box sets are expensive. Well, fuck, man, I'm almost wondering if maybe the idea, maybe it's better for me to go through Book Vault to order all of my hardcovers, and then I put all the Brady's on Book Vault as a hardcover instead, and then put those in the box set. Because they have slip cases that they provide. And those are all print on demand. And just a blend. Yeah, more hardcovers than paperbacks for that too. Or opposite, I guess. Yeah, more hardcovers than... Or, well, I guess more paperbacks than hardcover is fine. So 2 hardcover to start, and then 3 paperback is cool. I always forget, like, the hotel is 5 minutes from us. Like, it'll be okay if I run out, because then I can be like, hey, I'm gonna have more stock tomorrow. Like, it's chill. Oh, wait, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh! I don't know why it just zoomed so aggressively. That is not what I wanted. That ain't it. Whatever that was, that ain't it. Yeah, so I expect about the same turnaround for, like, Cosign. It'll probably be a lot of the same people, which unfortunately is not very good for me. But Daku is kind of different. Daku's different. So I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. Who knows? I can only hope. And then, if I get enough sales from that, because this is much cheaper. It's about half the cost of Mile High Con, and it's still 3 days. But, you know, it's like, okay, how many people are going to actually show up? And that's always the question you have to ask yourself, is what does the attendance look like? This lady was trying to get me to pay $210 for 1 day to do a book signing event, and I was like, ma'am, I was like, what does the attendance look like for readers? And she was like, 200 people. And I was like, so you're telling me you want to spend $1 a reader, and that's if every single one of them buys my book? You're silly. You're a silly lady. Like, unlike other people, I don't have money to torch. I wish that the lady that was like, that ran the Young Bookworms bookstore wasn't like really bad at managing her business. And I don't know, maybe I should just like go back over there and try again with her, because she herself was really, really nice. But the all of the stuff that just went down was like so unprofessional on that end that, like, I don't know. It's not that I wouldn't. Oh, I have to do this again. Oh my god, why would I do this to myself? Guys, why would I do this to myself? Oh no. I did this to me twice. Okay. Alright, I just gotta do it. But I'm like, yeah, maybe I could do that once more. Because she actually did sell my books. So, that's not that crazy. Oh, hey, Blue. Thank you so much for that sub. That was really nice. I'm doing all right. How are you? Jace is absolutely goated and packed up my books. Thank you, Jace. I love you.
Love you too.
Jace makes sure I don't starve when I go do these events. hope you are doing super good. How are your puppers? How is the Hubsint, the partner? Hopefully all is well, Redbeard. I love that Omegaverse is even a thing. I'm like, back in my day, that was just called a werewolf book. I feel old. Okay, actually, for whatever reason, from this particular angle, because I did tilt the camera just a touch, it's actually not as bad as the other one. It could have been much worse. But it's not so bad, actually. That would have been atrocious from that angle. Omegaverse is like shifter fiction riddle, and it's based off of the idea of a pack hierarchy, so it is werewolf fiction, but you specifically have to follow a formula when you're writing it, so your main character is what is called an Omega, and they're typically like the weakest member of that pack, and then their love interest is typically the, quote, alpha wolf, or whoever is like the top dog in the pack, so to speak. They're predominantly romance books that are based loosely on an incorrect understanding of pack hierarchy in wolf packs. There are some people out there who are really shaking up the genre, which is pretty great. But at least for me, most of the time the books are freakishly abusive. And a lot of them now on like the internet, if you get onto the weird side of the Omegaverse internet, a lot of them have like mpreg and stuff in them. So it's like, it depends on where you're at. Oh god, Cricket killed a squirrel. Oh, Cricket is a hunter. Yeah, Riddle, I would just Google it. Legit. Watch out! Now, granted, watch out. Because it can get weird. Shit can get weird. You've been warned. There's weirdy shit out there. But you can Google, like, define Omegaverse, and they'll give you a better definition. But, like, legit, it's just werewolf fiction. With very specific, like, tropes and themes that you have to follow. I'm glad that at least Ladybug is doing good. That's all that matters. Also, everybody should sit up, give a big old stretch, pop your back if you need to. I'm drinking an energy drink now. This is who I am. Yeah, I was gonna write... I don't even want to call it an Omegaverse book, because I think that it was too genre bendy and too, like, it was the Wattpad people told me, is that my work was too trope bending for them to take it and for it to be considered an Omegaverse book. But I was going to write one that had to do with like a cult and a lot of toxic masculinity. So this guy was taken into a cult environment and forcefully turned into a shifter. There were many different types of shifters based on different types of animals, particularly like Southwest American predatory animals. And then you had effectively the cult had sort of a pack hierarchy system like that. They aren't shifters, they just have animal characteristics, so they're still furries though. Oh my god, Mr. Man. I think they started out as werewolf fiction, and then it quickly migrated away from that. And I'm glad that there are people who are breaking the tropes, but like, yeah, for the most part, all I see is werewolf fiction. I would argue 85 to 90% of all Omegaverse fiction is like werewolf shifter fiction, from what I've seen. Yeah, and actually, specifically, the reason why there's so much mpreg is because apparently the Omegaverse originated in MM fanfiction. Actually. Jesus Christ. It's really difficult for me to get behind this genre. I respect you very deeply for trying to tackle it and actually make something quality out of it. Because as soon as, like, you have people going into, like, heats and ruts and shit, and it becomes very, like, physically demeaning for the love interest, I particularly lose all interest. Because it's so erotic heavy, and, like, I just can't do it. Yeah, I'm getting all of my information off of, like, this one is from Wattpad, for example. This is from a user here. What is Omegaverse? So this is from somebody there. That they might not be the authority on this, obviously, but like, I don't think it necessarily originated from one fandom, from what I can see. But I don't like. I'm not super into it. It's just something that, like, actually legitimately unfortunately makes me uncomfortable, so, like, I tend to stay away from that particular fiction. And I think for me, what is a turnoff about it is that I, as a very small person, before I transitioned, I was like a 95-pound, like, effectively, like, everybody's dream, like, like, adorable pixie goth girlfriend. That was like what people viewed me as. And so I ended up in relationships with a lot of men who were bigger than me by a long shot. And they would physically push me and move me around in ways that were, like, masculine to them, and it was supposed to be a turn on. And then it was not a turn on for me, but I was supposed to be that, like, demure, like, sought after, weak, sad, in need of protection girlfriend archetype. And it's just like, yeah, it's a massive turn off to me, unfortunately. But I recognize that, like, people have obviously different kinks and different fantasies and things like that. But, yeah, it's an interesting space. I don't know if it's a space that I would ever find myself in, though. I don't know if I could even, like, beta read or edit that fiction, because it would be pretty difficult for me, I think. Well, and again, there are some writers who are pulling it off that are not gross. Like, that's really important to emphasize, is that it's like, there are writers doing it that are not gross. It's just, unfortunately, a majority of them also, too, hypersexualize men in a way that is also kind of nasty. And, like, that happens when you get, like, a lot of straight girls writing gay fan fiction, which is also very bizarre for me as, like, a trans man as well. Like, I do see myself in a masculine space, and so then being, like, sexualized in that way as well, because there's, again, a lot of mpreg where it's like you have, like, the weaker male who's being forcefully impregnated in some cases because that's what the alpha wants. I'm like, ooh, I don't like this. But so it's very easy in this particular genre, just like in any erotic romance genre. So this definitely doesn't apply to just this genre, because I've seen it happen in a lot of other genres as well. It's very easy for writers who don't understand how to write good consensual boundary-based fiction to fall prey to writing some really creepy stuff. But yeah, definitely not to throw the entire genre or all writers under the bus, but it can definitely happen. And hopefully for your book, Blue, that means that you can create something that's, like, really, unique. And, something that is, like... Yeah, mine did the same thing, too. Exactly, Blue. When I was going to tackle mine was very politically charged. And unfortunately, that's why that got turned down off of Wattpad, because what they're looking for is, like, the bad 50 Shades of Grey, like, tropey-ass fiction. And what I gave them was a commentary on toxic masculinity and everything that's, like, wrong with the Omegaverse, like, genre, and what I didn't like about it. And I think that the editor was like, this is not going to go over well. They couldn't sell it, effectively, was the main takeaway there. Because they're looking for a very specific story structure, and that structure is a weak main protagonist, effectively is useless until they discover a hidden power within themselves, like plot twist, I'm actually the alpha's fated mate, or whatever is typically how that goes. Then that ends up becoming a draw for the alpha to have to be with this person, even though they typically don't like each other, and it is kind of like a friends to or an enemies to lovers trope also is where that ends up in there, either fated mates or enemies to lovers. And then there's just like an incessant amount of bullying of the main character where it's like, you're just a weak shitty little Omega, and it's like, really, it's like, what about this do I want to root for? You know, so for me, when I was approaching the subject matter, my thought was, okay, well, I need to make this a book about, you know, people being forced into roles that they don't want to be forced into because of who they are and how they ended up in this situation. And in this particular case, the guy effectively joins like a MAGA-like or a MAGA-like cult that is hyper obsessed with toxic masculinity, and then it turns him into a literal monster. And he can't figure out how to break out of that, and it's only because of a weaker and, like, first he's a trans-masculine guy and a smaller dude to help him figure out how to work through his own toxic masculinity effectively. And that was not what those editors were looking for, long story short. Yeah, this is why I don't really read a lot of fan fiction in general. Like, I recognize that people don't have very good boundaries. I'm very picky with the work that I do read, and even when you're reading stuff like, it's just one of those things. Like the last fucking Dragon Shifter book that I picked up that was supposed to be like a WW, like a fucking sapphic romance, you know, book. It ended up having, it was written by a white Mormon woman who was like cisgender, heteronormative, with like 3 kids, who lives in Utah, and the book itself was like loaded with the I'm being forced to be transgender trope, a sexually aggressive gay character who couldn't control himself, a very like sexually perverse romance like love interest who effectively dragged her the unconscious protagonist into a closet and was like, darn, if it was totally okay and if it wasn't actually super creepy, I would have like felt you up. And I was like, what the fuck am I reading? Like literally actually actively what am I reading? And it like pissed me off so bad. I've never it's very rare for me to like 1-star a book when I read them. But that was one of those instances where that has to happen, you know, and it was really disappointing to me. And so I think there are unfortunately a lot of people who do get a hold of these genres, and just like with 50 Shades of Grey, where that started out as Twilight fan fiction, and then it came from the person's very poor understanding of the BDSM community, and that resulted in a very, very, very poorly written book that pissed off a lot of people in the BDSM community because it was not accurate to their values and how BDSM actually works. And so then you had a lot of couples being like, I want to be hot like 50 Shades of Grey, and then actually physically hurting themselves or their partner because they didn't understand the rules of engagement or how to actually participate in that kind of a community without hurting each other. So the genre is rife with like stereotypes that are just generally harmful too. And I applaud the authors that are trying to not make that happen, which is super great, but I have yet to read or see anything that didn't immediately make my skin crawl while reading it. And I recognize that that's just a huge problem with me and romance just in general. Oh yeah, totally blue. Well, that's really it, right? And that's what's crazy about Wattpad is that the basis of their stuff is like if you get published with us, you have to have consent in your work. And it's like, that's cool and everything. Like, I'm glad, you know, that they're really trying to push that, because I'm sure so many younger authors, or again, authors who don't understand what fucking consent is, approach them and are like, yeah, I have this really spicy book and like, it's really crazy and this is what happens to the main characters. And then they have to like turn it down and be like, hey, so you've effectively written essay fiction. Like, we can't take this. You know, I'm sure that they get bombarded with that shit all the time, which sucks. I would not want to be the editor in that situation. That sounds fucking awful. Yeah, because I have plenty of characters with animalistic traits. Like, Gay Gaston is effectively going to be that. He has, like, this brand on his neck that, like, makes him, like, a very, like, predatory, like, primal, hunter-like character. You know, that's, like, all he does. That's what the god he worships wants him to do, is to hunt shit. Hunt the dark things that live at the edge of the forest. But then that also makes him, unfortunately, succumb on occasion to his very toxic masculine traits. And he has to work through that shit emotionally in order to become a better person. But, like, if you don't have a main character who is, like, growing past that shit, I just don't know why anybody would want to read it, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my god. Like, you're literally fantasizing about getting beat up by an actual predator. Like, why is this exciting for you? And it's super confusing to me. I'm like, I don't fucking know. But I don't know. I'm just a fucking white gay boy. I don't do that shit. I write kids' books for a reason. Like, legit. And part of the problem, too, is also, I will definitely say, and this is like a me problem, not a genre problem, but I am, like, violently demisexual. So, like, a lot of... I don't want to say that romance for me is difficult to understand, because it's not really the issue. It's just, like, the sheer... God, I'm trying to think of the right word. Lack of aftercare. That's the word that I'm going to use. That's it. Is that there's a lot less personal focus on, like, on the characters themselves and their development, and so much of a focus on the actual, like, acts themselves, that effectively when I do read romance, I'm literally just skipping through everything to get to parts that I actually care about with character development and stuff. And so it's just like, I definitely do read them on occasion to remind myself of why I don't write in that genre. But yeah, there's just zero character development. And then it ultimately makes, like, not a very interesting story, because I'm like, why? Like, remind me again why I care about these characters, besides the fact that they're literally, like, effectively, like, walking porn stars. And there's typically nothing there that does that for the book. And it's like, that's sad. You know, like... And now, not all books are like that. I will consistently, like, come back to that as well. Like, I've read plenty of romances where they're totally fine. But I'm very, very, very selective. Yeah, because I think the concept of an Omegaverse is interesting in its essence. Like, we live in a society of hierarchical structure, and that's really what people are playing at. Because, like, any and all erotica is exploring shit that humans are not allowed to think about on the daily. And all that Omegaverse does is it explores the idea of humans being forced into boxes, and the beautiful romance that can come from not being forced into those boxes. That in itself is a very nice thing. That's a great theme to go off of. We have loads of fiction in the world that covers those things. But I think people do unfortunately lose the plot a little bit, literally and figuratively. It can get pretty bad. Oh yeah, I agree, Riddle. Sometimes they just get really boring. You're definitely right. Like, you have to have a nice balance of stuff, and be able to actually, like, yeah, be able to rock between plot and romance, which hopefully is what I'm going to achieve with the Gay Gaston thing. But I don't know. I'm going to need somebody who's an actual beta reader who reads a lot of romance. Probably Blue, you might get a DM from me to read this to make sure it has the correct pacing and things like that, since I don't write the genre often. But yeah, the lack of care for male leads in general makes me angry. Yes, it often feels like they love their partner for, yeah, what they give and not for who they are. Yep. No, you're right. And that's exactly it for me. It's a huge turnoff. As somebody who has been literally used as an object for most of my romantic life, that's it. And that's the main reason why I don't really read romance at all. And why romance, at least for me, in kids media, feels more genuine to me. Because I'll go fucking watch Howl's Moving Castle over and over and over. I'll read Howl's Moving Castle over and over and over. Or, like, I'll go watch fucking Despicable Me a million times because, like, they're an actual functioning family. Or, like, I'm trying to think of other ones. Like, I love Megamind for that reason because it's literally all about him and Roxanne falling in love with each other and then having a lot of fucking complications that go along with that based on who they are as people. I fucking love that movie. But I don't have to think about, effectively people being abusive and then the drama that comes with that, or cheating on their partners, or being, emotionally manipulative, or any of that shit. It's like, I don't want to watch any of that. I'm good. I particularly am a fan of romances where the romance happens in spite of the characters' love, where you have, it's more like what I would call like environment-based challenges. So a good example of that is like Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I think their first name is Casey, but McQuiston is definitely the last name. But like they like each other, but they're not fighting with each other constantly. It's the actual like factors around their relationship that makes that shit a problem, and not them. Which I much prefer. So those are pretty good. Yeah, yep, you nailed it, Blue. Nailed it. Yeah, so for me, like I feel like I end up in a bad place because it's like it makes my books almost like low-key unmarketable because people, that's what they want, that's what they're looking for nowadays, and so it's like, oof, that's rough. Like, that's rough. And so that's an interesting marketing hurdle that I have to jump over because, like, for example, like this comic, this fucking romance is such an intense slow burn, holy shit. It's super intense. But, like, that's because, one, it's not present in the comics or the original, like, content of the work because as a monk, it's kind of expected for people to be celibate. I don't believe that that's a requirement for all sects of Buddhism, but for, like, bodhisattvas and for arhats, it is an expectation. So, like, fucking Sansan goes through the entire fucking book not really feeling romantic feelings. That's never, ever, ever a subject, and he's so good at being asexual that all the demons are, like, shaking their boobies at him, and he just doesn't give a fuck. Like, he literally does not care, which is super funny. That is like some A+ content. But also, Wukong is often considered being asexual because he, too, is, like, so anti-demon that he just never, like, engages with demons in that way versus somebody like Jubaji who has a sex addiction and he's engaging with other demons in that way. So it's like when I have that context for this particular work, yeah, they're going to like each other eventually, but also first, Wukong hits her in the face. So she's not going to like him immediately after that point, after he literally punches her in the mouth. Like, it's just not going to fucking happen. And so I don't know if there's even much of a market for slow burns in that regard. Like, I'm nervous about it. I'm nervous. Oh, yeah, One Last Stop's good. Tess, you right. Oh, we're in the middle of ads. We're in the middle of ad town. I'll chill out. Yeah, Riddle, it's definitely about finding the right books. Like, I have a lot of romance in my Brady books, for example, between adult characters. So, like, Rollo, for example, he ends up meeting up again with his love that he had when he was over in the Russian mob, Zhana. And they have, like, they go on cute little dates to hamburger joints. They go to play putt-putt golf. They're going on little dates with each other. You know, it's like it's really sweet shit. And I'm like, that's the stuff that I want to talk about. Or like I think about Blockhead struggling with his relationship with Florencia, where he feels like he's literally just getting run over that whole book. And how that's the opposite of that relationship, where it's really toxic and it's clearly not good for him because he's having a lot of issues. And so those are the kinds of romances that I touch on. Or I think about Perseus and Parissa in Court of Snakes that I have, where they're very much in love, but also Parissa's dad is trying to kill them the entire time. So, like, they don't have time really to focus on the actual, like, we're gonna make out the whole book kind of, like, stuff, because it's just, it's, at least for me, kind of unrealistic for, like, the situations. And that's another thing that doesn't sit super well with me for, like, romance, because, like, if you have a plot where people are shooting at each other and y'all are too busy doing the hanky pank in a closet, like, y'all gonna die, you know? Like, it becomes such a, like, a non-immersive experience for me that I'm like, are you guys okay? Because you're currently being attacked and y'all are choosing to do this instead of actually, like, I don't know, fighting for your castle or some shit. Like, whatever is going on outside of that, I'm like, are you are you good? Yeah, I would be just super picky. If you ever need recommendations, Riddle, let me know. Red, White, and Royal Blue is a fantastic one. It's gay, and it stars the kid of the President of the United States and the Prince of England, and it's fucking funny. It's really good, though. It's really good. Yeah, but yeah, you definitely will never get those as recommendations for school, for sure. They just don't end up on reading lists. Howl's Moving Castle is another fantastic one, because that one's a romance. It really is. It's about Howl and Sophie's relationship the whole time, just with cool plot going on around it, and it's just amazing. Oh yeah, For Whom the Bells Toll is, yeah, iconic. Really, really good. I absolutely agree. That one's one of those ones that doesn't make me want to pull my eyebrow hairs out. The last one that I read was pretty decent, that was, like, pretty okay, was She Came from the Swamp. I don't remember which author that was, but it's the only one like it on Amazon. Yeah, She Came from the Swamp, and it was pretty all right. It was high spice, I will say that, but it was not so unbearable that I was like, ew. Yeah, the book is surprisingly different from the movie. Jason and I just read through it, and it's wonderful because it has a lot of the same charm as the movie, but it's very dry. It covers a lot of different topics. There's less of a focus on war because Miyazaki tends to put a lot of war into his work because he was very deeply impacted by World War II and growing up in the aftermath of the nuclear bombs. So there's less of that, but more of, like, Howl being so unnecessarily dramatic. It's so funny. He just wants to watch rugby. Like, that's literally the whole content. So funny. I love that one. But Red, White, and Royal Blue is one that I would recommend. And that's only if you're okay with sex scenes, because there are sex scenes in it, but it's not, like, not what I would consider, like, super gross. I tend to be not necessarily super sex repulsed myself, but I do not like reading that content and will skip over it if I don't want to look at it. But I did not skip through any parts of Red, White, and Royal Blue, if that gives you any, like, context for it. But I love that stupid book. Howl's Moving Castle's silly. Yeah, even if with other getting murdered, they can't stop touching each other, and then they die. It's true. You're like, bro, you guys had one job, and it was to not have this happen to you. Like, oh my god. And then you don't even feel bad for them because they're just, like, making out. And you're like, well, now you're dead. I hope Jason eats well tonight. Like, I can't. Yeah, Casey McQuiston tends to just write really good stuff. Quality stuff. And actually, you want to know great romance? Great fucking book. In the Lives of Puppets, TJ Klune. If you're looking for asexual romance representation, that fucking book. Oh my god. That's the creme de la creme in my mind. It is literally like, oh my god, that book. And it's not necessarily a romance at its core, but it is a science fiction with a very prominent romance subplot. Oh my god, it's so good. Oh my god. Love. Yeah, In the Lives of Puppets. Amazing stuff. It's based on Pinocchio. That's just one of my favorite books, period. That's my favorite science fiction book, hands down, full stop. So good. Oh my god. Yeah, honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with low spice romance. In the era that we live in, there is almost what I would describe as an oversaturation of romance. And all I've been hearing, actually, from other readers recently is that they are actually sick of that shit. You know, there's so much of a focus on sex selling in the market right now that a lot of people are really upset and are getting turned off to reading because they feel like they can't escape effectively the Sarah J. Maas problem. Yeah, those I think are a good place to start, Riddle. I would definitely suggest, yeah, those books. Yeah, In the Lives of Puppets is amazing. I'm going to be reading Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. That is also a romance as well. And it deals a lot with grief and death, so I'll give you an update on that one once I have to, you know, go with that. I'm trying to think if I wonder if House of the Beast has a romance plot in it. House of the Beast. One kiss, which is good. But who is the... Oh, is it... It's a yearning romance. So, you know, that can be kind of cool if you want to read a book where it's like, it's again, not very heavy. But I do like the dynamic between, I'm sure, what will become the romantic leads. She's like, but again, I feel like that's what I like about the book is that it doesn't focus on her relationship with Aster. Right? It's like she got her arm chopped off and she's trying to go on a revenge quest against her dad. That's the number one most important thing. She hasn't got time for kissing, okay? Like, it's just realistic. I don't know. Good night, Riddle. Have a good sleeps. Under the Whispering Door was not my fave from TJ Klune. It wasn't bad, just didn't wow me. In the Lives of Puppets was great, though. That's good to know. Yeah, I'm just curious to explore more of his style. Because, yeah, In the Lives of Puppets rocked me. It was, holy shit, I was ugly crying, laughing out loud. Like, I like how dry his writing style is. It's so funny. He's become my Neil Gaiman replacement in the wake of all of that shit. Okay, I'm going to try and finish up this panel here, and then next time we can just effectively color tomorrow. And that's, oh my god, Photoshop, that's what we're going to do. She even consistently is like, I don't have time for this. Yeah, she's like, please. She's like, I gotta go punch my dad in the throat. That is funny, though. House of the Beast by Michelle Wong is a great read right now. I gotta try and like get Jace to sit down so we can finish it. I've just been so overtaken by Pokemon lately that like I haven't done the book reading in a while. Pokemon has got me gripped. All I need is the love between me and my Pokemon. Yeah, fucking overloaded romance. And then, of course, I decide for fucking Draftvember to write a very... my goal is to write a high spice romance. But effectively what I'm doing is I've decided that I'm gonna, like, literally edge my readers the entire fucking time, because it starts with a very intense sex scene right at the beginning of the book, and then the main characters do not address that, or they are effectively refusing to address that for a while. Like, they both are just in denial about the fact that they had any kind of romantic feelings for each other, and so they're just very angry. And so it's going to be a long time before they interact with each other like that again, and so it's like, it's the ultimate tease. I'm like, now y'all get to deal with what it feels like being a demisexual person, where they just hold hands very intensely for like 15 chapters. And actually, it's even worse than that. They just don't even look at each other. They just do this. For 15 million years. Interesting. I'd like to hear your thoughts on how I differentiate my secondary genders in my books. Omegas have the ears and tails of domesticated animals. Deltas are wild animals like deer. Betas are predators. Yeah, that's actually not very unsimilar or dissimilar. I can speak English. To kind of the thought that I had for my like cult book that I was working on. And I think it's an interesting way to like have that kind of symbolism. I haven't watched a lot of like Beastars, the anime, but as far as I understand, that show is very similar in their usage of animal symbolism, because animal symbolism in its essence is not an unusual thing to have in literature, particularly when you're dealing with like mythology. But I typically don't tend to see that happening in Omegaverse shit. It's mostly just a lot of people thinking that they know shit about wolves and then getting things very factually wrong about wolves, and then it's making me sad. I was not really a wolf kid, but I am enough of a fucking, like, smart person to be like, that's not how wolves work. And I'm like, why do you guys hurt me? But Zootopia kind of has the same thing going on, too, where you have specific classes of animals or things, people, are treated specifically because they carry certain traits. You know, if you're a predator, you're fucking dangerous and you're going to prison because you keep doing drugs or some shit. You keep committing crime. Or like bad guys is the same way too. Like there's a reason why all of those animals are predator animals and not prey animals. You know, they're dangerous. And then demons in Chinese mythology are similar as well, where it's a lot of them have animal characteristics, like they're, you know, a tiger or a fox or a wolf, a bear, a rat, you know, because like a lot of like people consider, they don't necessarily consider rats to be predators, but rats can be predators. So it's kind of interesting. Or they carry traits that are undesirable in that way. So kind of cool. I'm always down for good symbolism. becomes kind of an Aesop's fable question. I do like how you threw unicorns in there, though. I'm here for it. Unicorns are violent. Horses are violent. No, I'm just kidding. But also, I've had some weird experiences with horses. Sometimes they mean... Yeah, I'm just so tired of people coming up to my booth being like, how erotic is your work? And then when I'm like, I don't really write that, then I've legit had people roll their eyes at me and huff at my booth and they go, oh, and then they leave. And I'm like, oh my God, like, y'all are fucking so mean. Yeah, the mischaracterization of wolves makes me so sad. It's like, yeah, like, what the fuck? Like... This makes no sense. This one study was so bad and they redacted it. They retracted the study. Not redacted, retracted is the word I'm looking for. The wolves didn't deserve to be done a dirty like that. So sad. I just want shit to be good. That's just all I want. And I want to read good books that don't make me feel icky. Your knees. She's so pretty. Oh yeah, no, it's so bad, Blue. And it's not even just been once. Like, it's crazy how many times it happens. Like, people are very weird. Or like, I know my friend Q has the same problem because she is Ace Arrow and writes a lot of like, she does write, or not Ace Arrow, she's Ace Sex Repulse, but is looking for very specific romantic interaction. And so her books tend to focus on a lot of like trauma that she's been through in her relationships. Like from Hisfakak, for example, her character Calliope has had SA issues in the past and is very afraid. She's agoraphobic because of the stuff that she's been through. And people have come at her for her books being like, your female leads are not attractive because they are not romantically interested in stuff. And it's like, well, actually, if you just fucking read the book, you would know that, like, actually there is, like, romantic interest that does happen here. It's just a really slow burn. And for somebody like Calliope, it looks different because she's just not interested in those things like that, you know? It's like, it's just really frustrating. Selling books is really difficult because you do deal with a lot of people. Yeah, and I think about that one time that I was called a pedophile because I had a character who was dealing with her trauma by carrying around stuffed animals and reading fairy tales because she didn't get to do that as a kid. Like, I had a reviewer literally call me a pedophile. So, you know, like, people, especially in the romance genres, are fucking mean. Most of the time. Definitely not all the time, obviously. But I have personally not had a positive engagement with anybody in the romance or erotica arena when it's come to reviewing my work. Or I've also been met with biphobia too. That's another thing. It's been a very weird time for me. So I avoid that crowd, which is a shame. Because I'd love to sell a book and actually make money on it, and that's unfortunately the #1 way to do it. Actually, this is better. I still probably have that review on Goodreads. I could probably email a librarian and be like, hey, so this person defamed my character because I'm an LGBTQ plus author, and they just wanted to say some shit because they wanted to damage me. Can you please remove this review because it's not accurate? And I bet you they'd take it down. Because the librarians on Goodreads are nice. They're like the volunteers or whatever that work on the site. But they're really nice. Okay, so we successfully made it through at least the line work on this page. I got really hella distracted today, but that's okay. I gotta go do real people work now and eat some lunch. Eat some paratha, that sounds good. But I'll be back tomorrow to finish coloring in this page and then hopefully getting started on the next one. Which unfortunately, like all of these pages have like a lot of panels, a lot of content on them. That's okay. That is the way that it goes. That is a tomorrow me problem. So I am going to go and get some food. Thank you so much again to Blue Breeze for that amazing 10-month sub. I appreciate you so much. And I will be back tomorrow. And hopefully I'll see you all then. But otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.